Welcome to Short Scale Modelling. This is part 2 of the Hellskit Alouette 3 Grand Marie Scale 1 to 72. Working on this kit, I'm making it into the flying elephant, which I explained in the intro for this. So in part 1, I set about trying to recreate the elephant's head. And in this part of the build, I'm going to be building the helicopter itself. So let's jump into it and see how I get on. So to start off with, I'm going to be painting the interior. So the first colour I'm using is Revo Aquacolor 06 Tar Black. And this is for any of the main bulkheads of the cockpit. The next main colour is 79 Greyish Blue. And this is just for the inside of the interior, I should say, of the cockpit. And then it's on to 05 White. And this is to highlight areas inside the cockpit, as well as some of the areas outside on the main fuselage. So there's little grab bars and things like that that are all going to be in the white colour. I'm using 86 olive brown. This is for the cushions on the seats, the pilot seats, and the black is on the outer ring, I should have mentioned. I'm using paint mix 10% 91 steel and 90% 07 black gloss by Revo Aquacolor, and this is a sort of metal black colour that is going to be placing on the blades as well as the blades at the back. And I have another paint mix 95% of 91 steel and 5% of 95 bronze Revo Aquacolor, and this is gives a sort of titanium look on the paint shade I'm going for, and that's for the exhaust system as well as the rotor mechanics of the blades. I'm also using Revo Aquacolor 99 aluminium, and again, like the white, this is for highlighting certain areas, and that's the main colours that I'll be using for the interior, well, mostly the interior of the kit. The main colour of the actual helicopter itself will be 82 Dark Earth, and that's the predominant colour of the actual aircraft. And the last main colour is 12 Yellow Revo Aquacolor, and this part that I'm painting is the stabiliser that goes right at the end of the tail, just beneath the rotor blade. Onto the actual assembly now. And first of all, I'm beginning with the interior of the cockpit. So there's a few foot plates to go in, and the control stick that I'm placing in here. Next is the instrument panel to go in, and then I can put in the actual seats, so the pilot seat and the passenger seats. Now I'm not putting too much detail into this cockpit at all, even though there is scope to have quite a lot of detail in it, but the way I'm building it, you're not going to get to see much of it at all. But that's all I'm going to be doing with the interior as such. Now it's time to put the main fuselage together, the two halves. They fitted quite well together. All I needed a little bit of holding down, just clamped the end, or the tail end in the end to hold it. This is to place the interior onto the main fuselage. There's like a bottom plate that it sits on, and then the bulkhead goes into the back. Now you can place this onto the interior first if you wish. I just thought it'd be a bit easier placing it inside the bulkhead, inside the fuselage. That way when it's time to put it in, it just pushes in, and everything fitted quite well. And then once everything's dry, it's a coat of 82 Dark Earth as the main colour. And after a little while, I moved on to assembling the undercarriage of the helicopter. So first of all, it was the front wheel, and then the two main wheels. The location points on this were excellent. There was no need to muck around with them. They just slotted straight in without any drama. I did have to make a little hole on the tail here. There's a little grab handle that goes in here, but the injection mold didn't quite have the hole for it, so I just made the hole before placing in the grab bar. And then once that was on, the rear stabiliser then can go on. and then the wheels. Now I generally don't put the wheels on until right at the end of the build, but because how I'm building this, make it into the flying elephant, there'll be a little or no room to do so later on in the build, hence why I'm putting them on now. So this is the exhaust engine going in. It was just a couple of parts I sandwiched together. Then it gets attached to its own mount. Make sure that this lines up before you place everything in. But before I attach it, there's still a little bit more assembly to do. So the air intake pipes and things like that are going on now. These are quite delicate to place on, so I had to be quite careful. Next to go on are the foot plates on storage boxes. Now there's not a very good location point for these. You have to really do it by eye where you're going to place them. And I had to keep in mind as well how I was going to be draping this helicopter with the body of the elephant. So I may have not got them in exactly the right place as intended for the instructions, but I put them in how I needed to put them in to do the flying elephant. But saying that, they were just off. If they were off at all, they were just off. It wasn't like they were completely out of position. So that's the main body almost complete now. As you can see there, it's all coming together. Next is the rotor mechanism for the blades. There's two parts to this. Each part is made up in exactly the same way. This is just enables the rotor to turn on the model if you wish it to do so. Each part is made up of a top and bottom with little piston shafts there on each side, which should marry up to the other part. So when you build one, just mirror it to the next one, and you shouldn't have a problem matching these up. But it is delicate work. The blade bracket then sits on top of it, and there's three little location points for where the pistons all sit into. Depending on how you've set them will determine the ease that this goes together. But you should have enough leeway just to use your tweezers to get them in position. And then it's back to the 79 greyish blue colour to paint the inner part of this. You'll see a little bit of this once the shaft and that's in place, but not much. So now I'm going on to the canopy, and as you can see there, I'm free hand painting it, and I'm using the main colour of Rebel Avacolor 82 Dark Earth. And I'm just following the lines I'm going around. Now I'm only painting a little bit of the canopy because it's only one leading edge of the canopy that you'll see. Now time to put the canopy together, and I made a mistake here, and it's quite a big one really. I used normal cement to put this together without thinking. I just took my cement and glued it together. At the moment it looks okay, there's not much fogging, but later on down the line it does fog up quite a bit. The way it's been built, it's not so much of a problem. As I said, there's only a little bit of the canopy actually going to be showing, but that bit is still a little bit foggy than I would have liked. But you know, I made a mistake, hands up to that, it does happen. I will say though, the canopy fitted beautifully. I'm really impressed with this little kit so far. This will end part 2. In part 3 I'll be building the elephant body onto the helicopter. Actually, looking at that canopy there, that's maybe why it fogged up. I may have had glue on my fingers in the way I've just handled that. But there you go. If you haven't done so already, why don't you check out the channel for my other builds, or indeed the first part for this build log. If you hit the subscribe button, you'll be notified of any updates, including this build. Hit that little bell icon and you will get your notifications. Hit the like button, and of course leave a comment and share the video. But for now, thank you all very much for watching. Bye bye.